Howdy. It's December, the second week of December, something like that, 2023, 2024. I'm going to talk about RFK Jr. on this video. He's been demonized. Okay, so one thing you've got Robert, if this is looking at the big picture, and some people I know are just completely freaked out about him. They always have. They call him an anti-vaxxer. They call him a conspiracy theorist. I had somebody I know, and I posted something from RFK Jr. a week or so ago on my social medias, and he basically mentioned there's not a conspiracy theory that he wouldn't discount. I mean, a lot of people on the other side, on the left, specifically on the left, and some on the right, do not think he's mad, but they're listening to. No, they have the right for their own opinion, but I have a feeling that most of them are listening to the mainstream news and what they've been chugging out as propaganda and gaslighting for years to get people to believe this stuff. So, as I've mentioned before, I've done a couple of videos on this already, but this is how important I believe it is, because it's what got me started literally in a lot of ways in doing what I'm doing. We started a holistic wellness company in Texas about 17 years ago. And a lot of people around the world, a lot of people around the country were starting this last decade, starting to adapt principles of things that we taught. We and people like us, with seed oils are bad. Just some of the basics here, that sugar is the enemy, that the big pharmaceutical companies are a danger to most people. They've got some good things for them, but overall they're just the mainstream medical, the mainstream medical association, and the pharmaceutical lobbies, they want to keep you sick so they can keep you on the prescriptions. And we taught about stress and hormonal and all the stuff that's being sprayed on our crops and sprayed in the air, and the ultra processed food and how it's affecting us in every single way. We are what we eat. Remember the song, The Hokey Pokey? Everything is connected. So we've been teaching about this stuff for a long, long time. People like us. We've been following certain key people along the way. People like Mark Sisson. He was a forerunner in the movement, paleo movement. These were called different, like paleo, carnivore, keto, all these things we were teaching 15, 16 years ago, when even a brother of mine and even friends of mine, when we were starting 15, 16 years ago, laughingly called it voodoo science, or, we were teaching exactly opposite of what the mainstream was. For the most part, we were teaching alternative therapies for what the mainstream. And I've said before, allopathic medicine, which is the mainstream medicine, has a place, but it's not the be-all and end-all. It's just one part of the puzzle or the pie. And we teach a lot of other of that, more holistic, more natural ways to heal ourselves rather than just a pill or surgery. Things like that. Education and accountability are key for our bodies, for our weights, for everything. So we were following a lot of people, Dr. McCullough, our Robert F. Kennedy Jr. If you go back in his history, this is not somebody who just jumped on a bandwagon. So there's a couple of things you need to look at. Do the research. Don't just listen to what the media is saying, because they're wrong. No one trusts them. He is a person who's always walk the walk. He doesn't just all of a sudden jump on the bandwagon and said, oh, here, I'm going to change the food. He is a true environmental lawyer. He's done groundbreaking cases. He got the Ohio River cleaned up and things throughout his career. If you just go back and look, he's not the Green Deal sort of people, but true environmentalism. He is very educated when it comes to animals and things like that. He's a hawk, what do you call them? A falconer. He's a falconer. He's very, very intelligent, and he's talked about, he's not an anti-vaxxer either. He's even said it. And just like I say, I am not an anti-vaxxer. I am a choice. There's always an alternative choice, especially for the COVID vaccine. I was saying, don't do it, do these alternative things, but at least do the research. But, I've been vaccinated. It's been a while since I have, but, when I was a kid. So we're about choice. RF Kennedy Jr., He talks about the environment, how, and especially about our children, what they're walking into. You know, they're getting drugged up on Ritalin at 5, 6, 7 years old. Then they go to antidepressants at 15, 16, and then it's just there's so much to this level alone. This our healthy body, mind, soul, that it's too long to discuss here. I've talked a lot about it over the years, but it's what we do. It's what we have done, and I've built upon that with not only my life, but helping clients all along the way. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. walks the walk when it comes to that. He's very knowledgeable in our food. I mean, he's been talking about food dyes for years. I mean, who in their right mind, whoever's a critical thinker, or a common sense person who actually does the research, still wants red food dye, yellow number 40, red, in our foods. It's toxic. It's toxic. And why we've been putting that into our foods and feeding it mostly to our children and ourselves is beyond most people. I know why, because it's all about the money. They never cared about us in the first place. And as I've said many times before too, we the people are, once we start coming together, we are the ones that make change. And if you see in just the last 10 years, the tremendous changes that have happened in our food place, farmers markets have grown exponentially. We're getting more different stores to find the food that we are looking for, to find the different things we are looking for, rather than what's just offered to us. We're told, Fruit Loops is good for you. So we are making change, but with R.F. Kennedy Jr. coming into office, he is going to have a huge sledgehammer and a big voice for millions of us and people like us who've been teaching this over the years and are slowly gaining momentum, but really starting to open people's eyes. A lot of people just don't know. They're not educated. This comes with education. Education is the key. Exactly what's going to happen to your body every morning if you get up at 6 in the morning on your way to work, 7 in the morning. You go to 7-Eleven and fill your big gulp thing up with Mountain Dew. What actually happens to your body over time when you're drinking that stuff over years? It's really bad. So we need education. Education, that is coming, and that's coming very soon. And so you're going to see, already you're seeing big pushback from big food, corporate food, big pharma, because it's all about money for them. They never cared about our health in the first place. I'm generalizing. There are good people out there that do, but overall our structure of our country is just set up wrong. The food pyramid is wrong. Everything is wrong, and we're going into that, and we're wondering why our longevity, the death rate is starting to get younger and younger, and why we have such an obesity rate, not only our children but adults, why type 2 diabetes is creeping up for men over 40 and of all races. It's just, this stuff should not be happening, and it's happened really in the last 40 or 50 years. And something's not working. Everything's not working. So the whole system needs to be blown up and started from anew, and we know where to go. We know how to do it. This is the great thing. And we have a voice, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's going to change all this. Now, before if you still want to go out there and say he's a conspiracy theorist, he's the liar, he's an anti-vaxxer, go read some of his stuff. There's a book I've recommended many times before, The Truth About Anthony Fauci. Read that. That will open your eyes to one level of this world. Every part of that book's annotated bibliography. He's referenced everything in that book, so nobody can say, "Oh, are you making this up?" It's all tied in. I mean, a quarter of the book is bibliography referenced. He can't, he's got the facts there. It is a book that I highly recommend, because Fauci's going to come to prominence. He's going to come to the forefront here in very soon for crimes against humanity, but I won't go off that tangent now. But I'm here to say that watch what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. does. Listen to what he's already said. He's it's making heads explode, but it's our health, it's our nation's health, it's our children's health. They need to at least have another educational system of how to treat their bodies and moving forward, rather than being on 5 or 6 or 7 different prescription drugs at 50, 60 years old. We don't want that, no. So this is very exciting for many of us going into that. This is just one segment of what's coming ahead. But RFK Jr., he's going to rock it. He's got millions of people like myself behind him that are going to carry a big voice. Healthy mind, healthy soul, healthy body. Okay? Bye.